The Hangover is what most consider to be the funniest movie of the decade. And finally, they make a sequel, which everyone, well, most of the idiots, have been waiting for. And now that it's finally here, I can basically tell you if it's good or if it's horrible.
I'm almost famous. You dream of trading places. I have been changing faces. You cannot fill these shoes. There is too much to lose.
The movie, overall, was very, very funny. Which I think makes up for the fact that it is the exact same thing as the first one. It may not be the exact same thing. Basically, the director was just playing a game of Mad Libs with it. Like, instead of Alan having a baby, he has a monkey. And instead of Ed Helms having a missing tooth, he has a Mike Tyson tattoo. Genius! All the things in here, basically the little Mad Lib parts I didn't like. They were just kind of stupid to me. But overall, the new jokes were side-splittingly hilarious. They were hysterical. Me and my friends could not stop laughing the whole way through. But basically, the plot, no one's in this for the plot anymore. It's basically, okay, this time, Stu's getting married. Mad Libs. Stu's getting married this time. They take his fiance's brother, and they lose the brother, and Doug. They don't lose Doug this time. They just lose the brother. So the three of them have to go find the brother, just like in the first one. So basically, it's very predictable. You're gonna guess how it ends, but there are a lot of twists and turns. So I really do like the twists and turns, and they are awesome. But overall, the movie is very funny. But the plot is just the same thing as the first one. So don't be surprised if the plot isn't all that shocking. The acting, I thought that Bradley Cooper and Ed Helms, they were exactly the same as they were in the first one, which was great because they were hilarious in the first one. So they were the same hilarity-wise as the first one. And I think that Zach Galifianakis and Ken Chong, is that it? Alan and Mr. Chow. They were still the funniest people in the movie by far, but they weren't. Basically, by now, they realized they're the driving force of this movie. So, sure, they put forth their best effort, but at the same time, they were kind of like, well, we don't need to try as hard as we did in the first one. So, they're not as funny, but they are still the funniest characters in the movie. And you'll be surprised by a lot of little twists and turns that each of them do. Well, okay, fine, you won't be surprised. Well, I want to talk about the music very quick. The music was amazing. Just like every other Hangover movie. This movie, the music was great, actually. There were a lot of good songs. They have the song in the first one where they actually rescue Doug. They have that song in there. They have a lot of Kanye West. They have Monster, Stronger, Dark Fantasy. Just a lot of very good songs, I thought. And it was all great. And the music overall is probably a very big part of the movie because it just brings in the feel that, oh my gosh, this is epic. Comedy was funnier than the first one. It's not as good as the first one, just for the fact that, the plot is the same thing with Mad Libs, but the comedy was way funnier. And I feel that the rated R in the first one was mainly for language, with a tad bit of nudity. But in this one, it was a tad bit of language with a lot of nudity. So, if you don't like penis, don't watch this movie. Enough said, okay? Okay. Now, I want to talk about the first one versus the second one. I feel like the first one had a better, story to it. It had a better, we're in a hurry. The second one, it still had that same feel, but it wasn't as enforced. But, I feel like they're about the same, because the second one's way funnier. But the first one just has a lot more heart and a lot more story and a lot more connection and stuff. So, it wasn't just like, say, oh, well, we lost a very important item to us. Well, let's just forget about it. It just cost $5,000. I feel like the first one had a lot more heart and made a lot more sense. But anyway, now I'm going to talk about a few spoilers. So if you don't want to watch this, don't worry. You can just click out of it and go see the movie. And if you do want to watch it because you don't want to go see the movie, then go ahead and watch it. So anyway, back to the spoilers. The rated R thing. I'm going to talk about some parts I couldn't stop laughing, and some parts that just made me want to close my eyes and run out screaming like a horror movie. The first part, like, I already knew this would be funny and awesome, but the first part I thought that just terrified me was when the girls are all in the, they were all, like, in the strip club, and the girl takes off her clothes, and she turns around, and she has a dick. That was disgusting. But it was hilarious, Sue's reaction to that, so I hope you guys like that. And then, and that was the best quote ever, by the way, what that girl said right before that, right before the epic turnaround. The next thing that really just made me, you know, wow, this movie's awesome, was when they had the street riot. When they were watching that video, and you see, like, you know, you see the police with their shields up, and Stu's, like, doing this with his shirt, like, screaming, like, ah! And then Teddy's, like, throwing Molotov cocktails. That was awesome. And I'm going to talk about another big plot twist, not really plot twist, but something that just made me laugh, was when Mr. Chow says, yeah, I actually met my wife at one of those. And everyone's like, what? And he says, what, you don't think that I'm handsome enough to find a girl? That was too funny, because he's, obviously, we thought he was gay, so that was another part I just couldn't stop laughing. That was just hilarious. And then, finally, a big plot twist, I thought, was when Chow, when he gets caught. So, that was like, you know, like, my jaw was on the ground when I first saw it. I was like, whoa, that is awesome. Anyway, overall, I really did like the movie. I might be putting it down a little bit, but I did like the movie, and it was very funny. It wasn't as plot-driven as the first one was, and I don't know. If they make a third one, sure, I'll go see it, but it probably won't be as good as the first one or the second one. You know, first one plot-wise, second one comedy-wise. So anyway, I guess that's it. So tell me in the comments what you thought of The Hangover Part 2. And subscribe for more news and reviews. And by the way, X-Men Super 8. Can't wait. 2 weeks in a row. 2 of my most anticipated movies coming out one after another. Be sure to stay subscribed for that, because my reviews will be amazing. I'm seeing them both at midnight. So that's going to be awesome. And I guess right now that's all you need to know about The Hangover Part 2.
To see everything, want you to see all of that.